So, from the words of J. Jonah Jameson, Parker, you're fired. What that means, and it appears that Spider-Man is out of the MCU. There was a standoff between Sony and Disney, and it ends to Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige's involvement in Spider-Man. Kind of some sad news for the MCU Spider-Man fans. I'm kind of a fan, but I kind of expected this to happen. Now, whose side am I on? I can see both sides, but I am on Sony's side, because they've won the coin toss because they have the right to the Spider-Man movies. So apparently this deal is all about money. Let's see what Deadline has stated here. Apparently Disney wanted a 50-50 split from the financial stakes, and Sony said no, they declined it. Apparently right now, Marvel gets a 5% financial stake, and Sony gets 95% of the profits that are made at the box office. Go from 5% to 50% is a huge jump. Now I can see why Disney can go to 50%. Their production values are there on Spider-Man. They put their creative signature on it. And Sony, all they do is just distribute it. They just put Sony Pictures, Spider-Man, but it's Kevin Feige and the Marvel people that are producing the movie. And the movie that they produce, Spider-Man Far From Home and Homecoming, have been received pretty well at the box office and critically. They kind of provide the Spider-Man franchise. I can see why they want more money. Not only that, they bought Fox for over $1 billion, and they lost a bunch of money on Dark Phoenix. I can see why. I can see why Sony declined. They hold the rights. They hold distribution rights. It means they get the profits that Spider-Man makes. Apparently Sony, they probably don't need Marvel. To me, the MCU needs Spider-Man rather than Sony. Like I said, Sony holds the rights to the Spider-Man movies. A couple of years ago, a report came out saying that after the Avengers, if Sony felt like Spider-Man wasn't really needed, then they could pull the deal. And that's what happened a couple days ago. I kind of expected this to happen because Phase 4, they didn't announce any Spider-Man movies. And plus, recently for Sony, they've been trending upwards in the box office. Spider-Man Homecoming made around $800 million. Venom made $800 million. Spider-Verse got nominated for an Oscar. Far From Home got $1 billion, which is the highest grossing Sony film of all time, and the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time, beating a 12-year record that Spider-Man 3 set. So if you're Sony, you want the money. This franchise is making you money. They come to a realization that they probably don't need Marvel to do it. That's why they did Venom. And Venom put the nail in the coffin. Venom got like a mixed reception from the critics. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I liked it, but it made money. Now they're doing Morbius, Venom 2. And if those movies can be successful, then it's going to further state the point that they don't need Marvel Studios. If this movie's failed, they might crawl back to Marvel. Spider-Verse also did very well for them. Making a lot of money, they're having a lot of successes. Spider-Man's always been a success of Sony as well. It wasn't like the movies were making $300 million and all of a sudden Marvel came in and boom, they're making $700 million. All the Spider-Man movies have grossed between $1 billion and $700 million. The first Spider-Man movie in 2002 made $800 million. Spider-Man 2, $700 million. Spider-Man 3, $800 million. Amazing Spider-Man series, both of them got around $700 million. Homecoming, $800 million. Venom, also $800 million. Far From Home got $1 billion. I have sided with Sony. They own the film rights, and they can pull out of this deal if they want to. If they can say no to 50-50, And it's Disney the one that has to renegotiate here. Doesn't have to be Sony at all. They don't have to do anything. It's their character, their film rights. They can do whatever they want. And the problem is, where does the MCU go from here? Because Far From Home left on a giant cliffhanger. The world knows who Spider-Man's identity is. So how are they going to recover from that? That remains to be seen. But Spider-Man is out of the MCU. I think they will probably renegotiate the deal down the road. I think mostly the internet's kind of taking this kind of out of context, maybe a little bit too far. Yeah. But I think things will eventually work out. If not, then well, that'll be different. Spider-Man out of the MCU. I expected it. I'm signing with Sony. They own the rights. They win the toss. They can do whatever they want. Some people are blaming Sony. You can blame Sony, but remember, they have the film rights. Spider-Man has been pretty successful in this. Their most successful franchise. It is. So they can do pretty much what they want with it.